Morning everyone, this is your favorite MS4 coordinator, Rick Brown. And remember, only you can help us keep our stormwater actually clean and greaseless. Today we're going to be talking about Turkey Day, Thanksgiving. First question that people want to know is, what's a grease trap? Well, a grease trap is, we all have them. Those little gooseneck things that you have under your sinks, and imagine them on a larger scale with infrastructure in cities and towns and stuff. But what a grease trap is, grease is actually lighter than water, and it floats to the top, or it sits on the top. And the reason that we have a grease trap is so the grease itself can sit on the top of the pipe, but the water can still go out. And the more grease you get, next thing you know, it's too full and you're going to have to call a plumber or somebody to help you. But that's what a grease trap actually does. And because we all cook, we all have grease that we use. It's going to get in our pipes, but grease floats. It sits on the top. So if you have that maintained, you know, quite often or a couple times a year or whatever, and you call your favorite plumber or whatever, you won't have problems. But if you don't maintain that, it will eventually build up and cause problems. Assuming that the next question is, why do I need a grease trap? Well, because it sits on the top of the water, it floats on top, and we all need grease traps because it's rare for us to go home today and go, gee, Minnie, I better call a plumber to fix my grease trap. Most people don't do that. And what happens is, the next thing you know, water's not going down your sink. And that's why we have grease traps, to trap the grease at the top and let the water go out. It's when we don't maintain those kind of things that problems are going to happen. Well, and like I just talked about, how does a grease trap work? A grease trap is, imagine that we didn't have that little gooseneck thing in our pipes, and our pipe just went down and made it 90 degrees and went out. That wouldn't be good, because the grease, even though it's floating on the water, would be mixed in the water and go out that 90. And wherever it can, it's going to hit stuff because it's going to float. And then when you're done and the water goes down, where does the grease go? It goes down on the bottom of the pipe. So now you do that over and over and over. The next thing you know, you got grease clogging up your whole drain. So a grease trap works by that little S shape. The grease is at the top, but the water can still kind of go under it, so to speak, and go out. The next question that a lot of people are going to ask is, well, if I have a grease trap, why isn't it okay to put the grease down the drain? Well, it's because we all put grease down the drain a little bit when we make chili or we make food and all that. A little bit is always in there. You know, we do things in the pan so the stuff doesn't stick on the pan, and usually that's a little bit of grease kind of stuff or whatever. But it's kind of okay from the standpoint of we have the design to catch the grease. The problem that we all get into is the last thing in the world we want to do is call a plumber, hey, I haven't had my pipes cleaned in 6 months, would you come and clean my grease traps for me? Not too many of us do that. We wait, and all of a sudden the water won't go down after we're doing the dishes, and then we have to call them, they have to come out and clean it. So the grease traps are actually meant to hold that grease in that area for as long as possible. But if we don't have routine maintenance, it's going to plug up. And the reason we use grease traps is to hold the grease so it doesn't go out and plug something else down the road somewhere. And some people will say, well, I have a grease interceptor. Do I still need a grease trap? Well, I would say that, you know, the potential there is that interceptor is still going to eventually get enough grease on it where there's going to be a problem. The interceptor is kind of like going to help, but at the same time, if you don't have maintenance of an interceptor or a grease trap, you're still going to have problems down the line, because we all like it when we flush our toilets, when we do our dishes, and the water goes down the drains without any problems. And it's just a maintenance thing, and there's ways to prevent it, so you can go a long time, and we'll be talking about a couple products here in a little while. So the next question is, well, where can I get a grease trap? There are products on the market where you can get them, but we also have something here in our office that we offer free of charge, and it will help prevent your grease accumulating. I'm going to walk over here and show you one, and you'll be able to see what we have. So here we are. We're out here at our MS4 building, the Purdue building by the fairgrounds here in the city, with the soil and water folks, the Purdue folks, solid waste folks. But we have on our counter here things that are like a grease trapper. And we have extra bags that go in our grease trapper. We also have some things for dogs, but we'll talk about that at a different time. But we do have these at our office, and they are free of charge, but it would be nice if you come in the door and you want one, you could introduce yourself to me or Ariana, and because that way we can keep an inventory of what we have. Well, here we are back in the office from our counter outside in the lobby, and we do have a box of the actual wrappers, and I'm going to show you what they are right now. This is the grease trapper, got our logo on it. It's plastic, solid plastic. It doesn't hardly dent or anything, and this lid is not difficult to take off. A thumb and a little finger and it comes right off. It's simple. This is an individual bag, box of bags. This is an individual bag, and this just has an opening. So what you do is you just undo these little dooflachies here at the edge, and you stick the paper, aluminum by the way, in the bag, or in our grease trapper. And then when you're cooking at home and stuff, and you have the bag in here, you just grab it off to the side. You're cooking at the stove, and you take the lid off and you set it on the counter. Then you already have this aluminum bag already in here, already open, that kind of thing. And then you just take your pan of grease and you pour your grease into this aluminum bag. And it'll last for quite a while actually. And then when the bag gets full, you just fold the top, you put the little ears around it, and you grab another bag. It's really that simple. And then you can put the whole bag in your garbage, and it'll go out with your normal garbage. But this will prevent all that grease, and you'll be surprised how much this little bag will hold, but then you're going to also be surprised at, wow, that's how much I put down my drain with just routine cooking. So this really helps that gooseneck S I've been talking about, that little grease that floats on the top. Every drop you put into this is a drop less floating that could clog the system up. So these are free of charge. We have these at the MS4 office, and I recommend that you use them. I have one at home. I use it all the time. Ariana has one. Most of the people in the building here, we've given them out to. And I've never heard a bad comment about them yet. I'm actually amazed. I'm not the best cook in the world, but I'm actually amazed when this sits by the sink, how easy it is to take the lid off with one hand, hold the pan of grease in the other, and still be able to pour it in there and not have to feel like an octopus, like you have to have 8 arms. It's very, very simple to use, to work, to close up, to put a new bag in. I mean, this is really the cat's meow, so to speak, of how it works. And we're so proud that we have these, but these can prevent a lot of potential grease problems in the future. And you who help us will be amazed how easy these are to use and handle. That's how it works, and it's really simple. Lightweight, but very, very strong, very strong. They work great. So in the ending, I would like to wish all of you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have plenty of turkey, taters, and all that good stuff that goes with Thanksgiving. And this is a perfect item to use for all your Thanksgiving cooking, because I know a lot of families have friends over, family over, kitchens are kind of full and whatever, but you will be surprised. You will be amazed, and you will be happy, because you'll be saving money by using these grease trappers and how easy they are. So everyone, have a very, very happy Thanksgiving, and we are so glad to be able to present this to you and how you can actually help yourself and keep your pipes as clean as possible. So everybody have a great Thanksgiving, and only you can help us with our stormwater.